What's going on, guys? So, as I announced earlier on Facebook today, my good buddy Nick here
What's good?
and I went to go see the new Michael Bay Transformers 5. What was the name we came up for it?
Transformers
it was-
Revenge of the Fallen Extinction.
No, it was
Wad
the
of-
Extinction of Fallen Moons.
Oh god.
There we go. It was Transformers
It was
Revenge of the Extincted Moons.
It was a wad
Yes.
of things.
Okay, so we're gonna go over it a little bit. Try not to do any spoilers if we can, and we're gonna give you the good, we're gonna give you the bad, and we're gonna give you the facepalm because there was a whole lot of facepalm. So facepalm is going for cringe and things like that that just go beyond bad, and good. Well, there's some good in the movie. Not gonna lie. There's actually some pretty good stuff in it.
Yeah.
However, I do believe we are on the consensus of most reviewers that, in general, the movie didn't need to happen ever.
Yeah.
Like,
I really tried going in with a great attitude because I've always been a Transformers fan, just like you have, and I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a clean slate. I'm not gonna go in with any like expectations.
which is hard to do.
Yeah, and just give it a good chance.
Yeah. Same difference. I mean, I've seen the reviews. I've read some reviews, and I knew what I was walking into. But I wanted to give it a chance because I don't want to base my thoughts off of somebody else is thinking. I want to be able to see what they're talking about and determine if I feel the same. That's what you should be doing when you're reviewing anything.
Right.
By the way, you're in the squeakiest chair
I'm in
possible.
Corey's chair.
Yeah. So, yeah. Nick's in Corey's chair this time. So it's gonna be a mess, guys. Try to lean towards the camera a little bit, Nick, so we can hear you well.
Hello.
There you go. Hello. How are you? Anyways, so yeah, we went and saw it at our local theater here. And I will say, I think the best thing about this movie was the chairs we were in.
They were extra comfy,
Yeah.
if I do say so myself.
I paid the extra money for the great recliners
Yes.
right in the middle. I will say we had really good seats and everything. It was so good.
Yes.
And like I said, when we walked in, I think the best thing about this entire experience was the chairs. Now, I bet seeing this in IMAX 3D would probably make you sick, but would look amazing.
Yeah.
Because in general, this movie did look amazing.
Yeah, visually and
Sound design was also
yeah, the
amazing.
sound design was great. Music in the background during every scene was great.
I mean, that's one thing that the Transformers movies have always been good with. They look amazing.
Aesthetically, they're always pleasing.
Yes, well, maybe not pleasing, but they look good.
Well, I mean,
it may not be pleasing in all aspects, but it looks amazing
Yeah.
whatever you're looking at.
Visually aesthetic.
Yeah.
Or,
The visual aesthetics were good.
Yes.
There.
I'm gonna stop
Nick
now.
Nick is tired.
Yeah.
So, and it is late on, well, not late on a Friday, but late enough considering we've both been up since like 4 a.m.
We're old dudes.
Yeah, we're old dudes, so we went to the 4:30 p.m. show, and there were kids in there. I'm sure they had a good time. Probably.
You know what? That was the other great thing. There were so many kids, but they were all so well behaved.
Yeah, you didn't hear anything.
Like there weren't little
realistically.
kids going, "Rah, rah," and parents going, shut the fuck up.
Then again, we weren't sitting near any of the kids.
I was sitting next to a kid.
There was a kid next to you. I didn't
He
even
was.
notice.
That's what I'm saying. This kid.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a kid next to you.
I was like, you're dad of the year next to him,
Yeah.
because this kid the whole time was just.
Well, see, my complaint was the guy next to me kept setting his glass down or his cup down really hard in the cup holder, or kept thinking he was taking.
Oh
my
yeah, because I
cup.
saw you were sitting next to that cringe family.
Yeah. So I mean, that's neither here nor there. That's not about the movie, but so let's just go over to good, and this is going to be sort of in order as the movie goes. And like I said, we're going to try not to spoil anything you haven't seen in the trailers, and if I can, I'll use tiny snippets from the trailer here, just for instance, and hopefully won't be getting anything from whoever, Paramount. Yeah, right, because I can't avoid copyright strikes ever. All right, so the movie starts out in the Dark Ages, which I thought everything there was pretty good.
That was pretty legit.
They did a good job with set design and everything for that. It made it visually awesome. The battle at the beginning, you see a lot of that in the trailer. Stop screaming in the chair!
Oh, I'm sorry.
I really need to fix that chair.
If you're into like the Dark Ages kind of thing, King Arthur and whatnot,
Yeah.
on point.
I think that, the parts you see throughout the movie that all kind of harken back to that are all great.
Yeah.
A lot of the period pieces, the one period piece is significantly better than the other.
Yes.
In that back scene, you do see some cool minor spoiler because you already know that there's Transformers in the Dark Ages, but you do get to see a really cool crashed ship that's like stuck in a mountainside. Very cool G1 callback.
Yes.
They're like entering and exiting through the thrusters.
And I thought it was left, or what's it called? Inlaid in the mountain.
Yeah.
Very tastefully.
Oh yeah, because it'd been there long enough that like the grass had grown over it and everything.
Right.
And nobody would have known. It just looks like a cave. But that was actually really, really neat. I like that idea. It does tie into some of the bad list. We'll get to that in a little bit. But there's good and bad and facepalm. Like actually, realistically, looking through the list here, Nick, look, almost all the lists are about the same. So they Michael Bay just basically balanced this movie the way it was. They did. If you callbacks in this movie to previous things, some are actually very good, like the "No sacrifice, no victory" motto from the first movie.
From the very first,
and that sort of rolled into some of the other movies, especially any of the Sam movies, the first three. A few other movie callbacks that I won't reference directly because I don't want to spoil anything, but I liked them.
They were tastefully inserted.
Yes, well, with the exception of like one or two.
Yeah.
But most of the time
most of the callbacks were great.
They tried to tie all of the movies together, even though they've sort of rewritten continuity throughout this, including this movie, rewrote continuity.
Oh.
This is something I want you to talk about, Nick, because you like this more than I did. It's what I refer to as Bumblebee Mark 42.
I thought that was really cool. Like him, whenever he gets like ripped apart, he can just kind of like come back together. But I'm a huge kind of gimmicky robot fan.
I just thought it was a gimmick that was introduced for a single purpose.
Right.
And that's one thing that this movie tends to do a lot.
I can agree with that.
There's a few things that are used once and never utilized again, or it seems like it should have been more important than it was.
I can agree with that, but once again, I'm a gimmick fan.
Yeah.
But I can agree that it's kind of like, it's there for one purpose.
Yeah.
For you, pointless. For me, I was like...
Don't get me wrong, it was neat how they did it, but I thought that, okay, if you're going to use this, and make sure that we really see what's happening.
Right.
Make it something that's useful.
Well, and for me, like, it sums it up for me as in, like, any movie you see Bumblebee's always ending up somewhere by himself.
Usually.
With everybody else fighting other
Well, he was
people.
A scout, so he's supposed to end up by himself, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I guess it makes sense in that
aspect. Once again, it just, along with a lot of the other things. Now, not to spoil too many things, you guys see that, Bumblebee and Prime are fighting in the trailers. That whole scene was pretty cool and fairly well done.
Yeah.
One Deus Ex Machina hammer. No idea where that came from, just happened. But that's where I would have liked to have seen the Mark 42 kind of come into more play. Like, you sort of see it happen, but no spoilers, but I would have liked to seen it been the reason for the later thing that happened.
Right, yeah.
That would have made more sense.
Right.
To me, anyways. But
they
yeah.
didn't. I think you would have liked it more if they would have taken more advantage of that actual.
Put a
gimmick.
more point to it.
Yeah.
Don't just make it a thing that happened, and then we just never really deal with it. I will say, guys, that this whole cluster right here of just random things is very symbolic of the movie. It was a lot of random cluster, and they just moved from one cluster to another.
It's just like...
Or combined all the cluster into one thing.
It's like separate wads of things that are just kind of like trying to be thrown at you in one big wad.
Yeah, it happened a lot. But that seems to be Michael Bay's thing. Now, one awesome thing we both really appreciated. Both Megatron being redesigned into this cool night mode for no reason.
I mean, I was a huge fan of it.
No, I'm saying it looked great, but also the fact that we get Frank Welker back as the voice of Megatron.
Oh, yeah.
Because, of course, he was Galvatron in the last movie, but very underutilized.
Right.
And you brought this up. I didn't really consider it. How did Megatron get this redesign? And I don't think they show it in the trailers, but he does transform, but in the normal way.
Yeah.
Not the fake Transformer way from the previous movie.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure if...
Well, not to go into spoiler territory, but was that where you were going?
No, what I was going to say, I'm pretty sure everybody like notices from seeing, if you've seen the fourth movie and going into the fifth movie, if you've seen the trailers, it's 2017, everybody can like look at pictures of crap right now.
Yes, we can.
That everybody's going to be like, well, we saw Galvatron.
Yeah.
Which was cool, but now like we reversed back into Megatron.
Yeah.
Which, once again, like you were saying, the continuity being rewritten between each movie.
Just for no reason, yeah.
For no reason.
Well, see, we also get the fact that, remember, the hole in Galvatron's chest was symbolic for the fact he had no spark.
Right.
and then we just kind of forget it.
And you just kind of throw that in the recycle bin. And
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the fact that, and this, I know a lot of fans, especially toy reviewers, noticed this first. It was spoiled in the toys. He gets his fusion cannon, finally.
Oh, yeah.
Finally gets his arm mounted.
Only takes 5 movies.
Only takes 5 movies to get it right. I mean, he had the big arm cannons in the first movie where he kind of combined his arms and they turned into a giant cannon, but that's not the same.
No.
But he finally gets that and uses the crap out of it.
We're talking G1 fusion cannon where, that's one of his most utilized weapons of all time.
Yeah, and he did use it a lot.
Yeah, he did.
But not really to anybody's benefit.
No.
There's one thing that I've noticed about this movie. No big spoilers, guys. Not a lot of Transformers die that matter.
No, not really. They're just kind of all in the movie.
Yeah, whereas they've died all over the place in previous movies. Even main name characters died.
Right.
This movie, I don't think, maybe more than 3, if that. And they were people you've never heard of.
We really kept all the characters.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. Something awesome, also in the spoilers. I'm just calling the trailer spoilers now, because it shows you the whole movie. In the trailers, the baby Dinobots.
Those things were cute.
They were so cute. No reference into where they came from.
I really hope there are giant plushies of them, and I will buy them for the apartment.
And there was Terry, the little pterodactyl. I don't think that... They had a name for the T-Rex, but I don't remember what he called it.
Yeah, they had a pterodactyl, a T-Rex, and a Triceratops.
Yeah, so they're filling out the Dinobot roles for some reason.
And they were really Cybertronian, but they made them absurdly cute.
Yeah, very, very cute, which Cybertronians would have no use for cute. So this very Earth Cybertronian thing. No idea where they came from.
Right.
Because we don't know Transformers breed, especially as giant dinosaurs. So that makes no sense.
Right.
Anyways, but actually in this movie it covers the fact that more Transformers are falling to Earth like every single day.
Right.
So suddenly there's Transformers everywhere, including ones that were incredibly cringy throughout this movie. That's going to be later, but they were really awesome. But just jumping into one big facepalm moment with the baby dinos, the obligatory Bud Light product placement and utilizing the baby dinos for that.
Why did you have to use the baby dinos?
So facepalmy. Now, even Cade, because he got to have his Bud Light like he had in the last movie.
Yeah.
Got to pop it open on the car. He I'm sorry for spoilers. He trains the baby dinosaur to get Bud Light out of the fridge for him like a dog. It's just so stupid. I hated that. I hated it.
I had no words for that.
Because everything before that was just really cute and funny. Out of all the products
you could have pulled out of the damn fridge, or even you could have gotten something else somewhere else.
Yeah,
but it had to be flipping Bud Light. Michael Bay, is that the only beverage you could have referenced?
Yeah.
You could have gotten Red Bull.
It made me angry. It could have been Red Bull. That actually would have made a lot of sense there. I'll let you talk about this one because you liked it more than I did. And minor spoilers, you sort of see this in the thing. The prisoner exchange / Suicide Squad scene.
I thought that was fun. I thought that was really fun. Just because I enjoyed Megatron having a chance to kind of be like, you're going to do what I say, but it was still comedic.
Well, what I hated about that is, one, Megatron had them over a barrel over 2 people.
Yeah.
And they just gave up everything for 2 people, which, mind you, in no point in previous movies would they probably have done this.
No, and we're talking CIA people. Not saying that CIA people aren't important, but
yeah,
we're talking
unnamed characters.
Unnamed characters that kind of ran off into the distance.
Yeah, we don't even know who they were.
Yeah.
But then they had an entirely, if you guys haven't heard about it now, very Suicide Squad scene introducing prisoners that he needed back, and it even had their names on the screen.
My thing is, I liked the idea of it. I thought it was fun. But once they started mentioning the names of the robots, that's when it was
all cringe.
Stretching it. It was kind of absurd how much they stretched it.
Yeah.
Spoilers for you guys. We're all used to the normal, Transformer names. Optimus Prime, Megatron, stuff like that. That sounds normal. Sideswipe,
Bumblebee,
car, machine-related stuff.
Okay, so we've got Mohawk.
We've got Mohawk, which sounds
which is okay, realistically.
It's not terrible. Bad. It's not bad.
We've got there's a couple of them. Berserker, which was an unnamed guy before, but they brought him back as Berserker.
Yeah, and then this one was the stretch. This one was the stretch for me, where I was just like, this is a little kid naming his robots and his little action figure army. They named one of the guys Nitro Zeus.
And I'm going to total spoilerize this, guys. I think Hasbro was making fun of themselves because they legitimately repainted an old character. No shit. Repainted an old character and threw him back in as a completely new and
They gave him
ridiculous
like
character.
one accessory. It was a gold chain.
Yeah, so I'm not going to tell you which character he was, but they legitimately repainted the character, gave him a new voice, and threw him back out there with the dumbest fucking name ever. And sorry, we're going to use adult language because it's deserved of this movie.
Right.
So there was probably a warning at the begining of this.
Like Nitro Zeus? Like, that's a Hot Wheels car name.
Exactly. Like, and he wasn't a Hot Wheels car. I don't even know which vehicle he was. Do you?
I
think he I think he was a jet. He was a jet. He was the other jet.
He was supposed to be...
Why would he have been a jet?
He was supposed to be like I want to say his name is Quakewave or something like that, because in Transformers Prime there was a giant like Shockwave.
There was that was
a giant Shockwave looking
character.
Dude.
I know who you're talking about.
You know
he
was real bulky. Yeah, Skyquake.
I think he was supposed to be Skyquake.
I think he was supposed to be Skyquake, but he just turned into Nitro Zeus cringe.
Yeah, terrible. And like I said, we're gonna jump back and forth when things tie together.
I'm gonna get on a video game at home.
Once again,
Nick. Zeus now.
Yeah. There you go. Something that Nick liked that I absolutely had a problem with. No major spoilers here, but there are at least what I call 2.5 MacGuffins in this movie. And if you don't know what a MacGuffin is, it's that thing that everybody's chasing or fighting for that is special to the movie.
It's the key / linchpin why everybody's going after everything.
Exactly, and I thought it was ridiculous that they needed more than one of them. 2, that they use one for like half a scene and only for exposition.
Yeah, I thought they were cool ideas, but each one was just kind of there, and once it served its purpose, they just kind of threw it away.
Well, that's what they've done throughout these movies.
Yeah,
and that's why I hate it, because the MacGuffin has been the driving force.
The what's it called? At least the spark, the Allspark.
Yeah.
And the Matrix of Leadership had a whole movie purpose.
Yeah, this had a no, it didn't. But I mean, it's
not a whole movie purpose,
but it was the MacGuffin.
Yeah,
it's what it did.
It was one MacGuffin, and like everybody's like, all right, we got the Allspark on the first one.
Yeah.
Number 2, we got the Matrix of Leadership to fix everything.
And then we had the pillars.
We had the pillars in number 3.
Which, by the way, this is not major spoilers, but this goes into the movie callbacks.
Yeah.
Because they actually do show you some of these things throughout the movie again. When it gets into all the Transformers history, you kind of see some of the stuff again, and you'll see what I talk about whenever you get around to seeing it, guys. But yeah, I thought that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know how I skipped this. I went like way over it down the list.
My thing is though, it's 2.5, and it's like each. Like I said, the other ones get a full movie. These things are just kind of like they're there, and then they're gone.
But I mean, they were there for the whole movie until we needed them, and then it was over, and then good. Now the one MacGuffin that which one I'm talking about served only one purpose legitimately, and then was gone. You don't even know what happened to it after that.
Dumb.
It was awesome what it did.
I thought it was one of the coolest things in the movie.
It was the coolest thing it did, and then it was useless. It was gone. It could have been totally useful after that scene, and never referenced again. We're like, that's not important anymore.
It was like finding a pack of Starburst that's been hidden in your car, and then you just never get to taste any of it.
Okay.
That's for me. I was like, oh.
You found some Starburst, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. So another great thing, and this is a Michael Bay thing. It's been the thing for all these movies. We both love it, especially in this movie. Car porn.
Oh, so many cool cars.
Amazingly cool cars all the way through this.
So many cool cars.
You had it had to have been the Aventador.
I'll say this. It's sad when I see more cool cars on Bayformers 5 than on Fast and Furious 7 and 8.
I didn't see 8 yet, but I mean, it's a totally different level because it's Michael Bay money versus Fast and Furious money.
Totally his feet.
Yeah. But I mean, Bumblebee's remake was awesome.
That was
the new Camaro, even though I don't think you can technically buy that yet.
No. Well, that's how it's always been.
The Barricade remake of the Mustang.
That thing was sick.
So badass. However,
I kind of want if I see it, the Barricade action figure, and
it's bad.
Well, no, I mean the
car. The car. Actually,
that's what I'm saying. If the car form's nice,
if they make a better version of it, because I've seen it, it's okay.
If they make the car form, I like having the car form.
Yeah. So, and we'll talk about Barricade again.
That Lamborghini Aventador though was.
If that wasn't an Aventador though, was it? It was either
2017 guys. We got Google.
It was either a Aventador or it was a Huracan, but it was really badass. But then you also had a McLaren in there. You had another car that we don't even know what it was. It looked almost like a Tesla.
What was
That's Hot
what's
Rod.
his name?
It was what?
Was Drift the McLaren? The new Mercedes? Because he was.
Oh no, Drift was an SLS.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I didn't even write this down as something bad. Just jumping there since we're talking about the car design, repurposing previous models to new characters. So they couldn't afford a Veyron again, so they made Drift
an SLS.
an SLS, which Soundwave was in 3.
And then they also repurposed the Hound.
No, well, Hound was the same thing.
I thought Hound was like a bigger.
He was the same kind of truck. You just didn't see him on screen much. But no, repurposing a Lamborghini from the last movie to a good guy in this one. A new Lamborghini, mind you, but the toy is actually the exact same mold.
Right.
Which is annoying in and of itself. While you're looking up which car he was, I'm going to move on. The Grimlock fight. The Dinobots.
Oh, yeah.
When the Dinobots did anything.
When they finally did something.
It was actually pretty awesome. However, and we bitched about this together, the Dinobots were grievously underused.
Oh, God, yeah.
And Grimlock was reduced to a junkyard dog.
Oh, here we go. It was a Mercedes GTR.
Yeah, we were looking up Hot Rod. We know what that was.
Yeah, and then...
It was an AMG GTR. Oh, okay, so you just pulled the list of the cars. That didn't help. That was not all of them. That's not all of them.
They only gave us a few.
Yeah, we needed to know what. Just look up Hot Rod.
Where's IMDb?
Okay, so moving on. The Grimlock fight was great, guys, even though very short-lived. One thing that was just awesome in general was Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins was fantastic.
He was definitely a win. However, his character was all over the place with no explanation.
Oh, I know.
Which, realistically, was all of this movie, was all over the place. I'm going to move something minor on the screen so it looks like we've got anything going on. There we go. The Megazord's gone. Did you pose the Megazord like this?
Yes.
Okay, because I wasn't in the room when you did that. I was wondering what you were doing in here while I was talking to
playing with your
to the wifey.
Megazord.
Yes, because you didn't get to play with the Megazord yet. Oh god, I lost the sword. I'm messing everything up, Nick. That's what I get for trying to do it one-handed.
Well, it's your toy, so you're good.
Excuse me. Oh god. Shush. Anthony Hopkins was great, but his character was weird.
Yeah.
He had great moments of exposition and very stoic and epic, but what was going on with him made no sense.
There were very many personalities.
You know what it was? He did explain it. It's basically his family's attribute. They were all crazy at some point.
If you're a Witwicky, you're crazy.
Well, no, Witwickens were okay. His family, whatever they were.
Oh, yeah, they were just all...
They were weird, but they were guardians, like, sort of thing.
Lambo was the Lamborghini
Centenario. That's the new one. That's right, the Centenario is the new one. Okay, so the Witwickens, you guys will see what it is. Basically, if the name sounds familiar, you get it. There is a good explanation for it, and it makes sense, but doesn't make a whole lot of sense in this movie.
No.
If they were doing something else...
It's another callback.
2 movies ago would make sense. It's a storyline they should have started back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cogman. Like, you'll see a little bit of Cogman in the trailers. Great character, but very much like Anthony Hopkins. All over the place,
yeah.
Random. The car, whenever they're running through town in McLaren, that was hilarious. Yeah. Move, bitch! Get out the way!
So, like, I think it's funny because he's, like, you can tell he's existed so long.
Yeah.
That he's tried to definitely... adapt to each time period that he's lived through.
Tried to, yeah.
But it's like there's a point he's been so long around so long that like he can't.
Yeah, well, his clockwork more or less, which is why I call him Cogman. And just for reference, guys, he is basically referred to as C-3PO at one point in this movie, and it's funny because I think we talk about another character that we kind of both disliked that is very R2-D2 like. Later on, so we'll talk about that in a second.
I think they all see him.
Squeaks. We know it's Squeaks. Squeaks is
everybody
very R2-D2.
sees him in the what's it called?
Trailer.
The trailers.
Spoilers.
God.
Okay, we'll talk about it when we get to the bad because we're getting there. We got a couple more things on the good list. The Amazing Dragon Combiner. Spoilers that he's a combiner.
Oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever.
Coolest thing they did in the whole movie, and they didn't, once again, underutilized. However, when he was on screen doing something, it was amazing.
Like, I couldn't get enough of him.
Like, when you first see it at the beginning of the movie in the Dark Ages,
right? You
didn't get what happened. Like, he just came out of nowhere. Said, we will give you the dragon, or whatever.
Right.
And you just assumed that it
just
a giant dragon, pulled a dragon out.
A giant cyber.
And then you find out that he is, in fact, a combiner, and the best combiner we've gotten.
And see, for me, I actually thought that was really cool because the longest time on the movie, you just thought that... Oh, I'm probably going... Is that a spoiler?
What?
Going into, like, all the other knights.
Well, they know the knights are existing. We know about them.
Well, like
it's in the trailers.
You all want to see the knights, but the whole time you're like, where are they?
Yeah.
And then finally you see them all combined into the dragon, and you're just like,
of course, mind you, it was like at a distance.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
But it's still really cool.
Now, the cool thing is, I think there is a version of it that's two of them combining into the three-headed dragon, because they're not going to give you all of them to do that with.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for the good, realistically, guys. I mean, the movie looked great. The acting was just better in general. In fact, Mark Wahlberg was nowhere near as cringy as he was in the last movie.
No.
Because one, his daughter wasn't in it, which thank God. They even finally gave an explanation as to why she wasn't in it, which I appreciated, because I even asked you early on in the movie, "Where's his daughter?" And then not even 2 minutes later, they gave us the answer.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, guys. So we're gonna go into the bad real quick. I know this is already going on longer than I expected. It's gone on 25 minutes.
This only meant to be like 10 minutes. But.
Yeah, we're gonna go into real quick. This sucks. We're going over why it sucks, guys. Because realistically, there's only one good list. Technically, there's 2 bad lists. Excuse me, hiccups. All right. So something I caught right at the beginning, kind of a weird Armageddon callback. There's a scientist that we both agree sucks ass.
I hated him.
He's a really annoying character throughout the movie, although at the beginning you thought he was just going to be that guy who noticed that the world's coming to an end.
Yeah.
Just like the guy at the beginning of Armageddon. And they really, really stretched that Armageddon kind of callbacks between what happens on the moon.
Like, I understand what they were going for, but once again, there's a lot of things in the movie where they're just trying to... They gave you a character / scene / whatever they were going for.
Yeah.
And they stretched it.
Yeah.
Like an over-chewed piece of gum.
Yeah. And part of me wondered from the beginning, like, how long we were going to keep getting that countdown.
Yeah.
And honestly, it wasn't that bad. Like, I figured it was going to be about every 20 minutes, but it wasn't. Also, in the trailers, you see these weird AT-ST2, bipedal walker things.
They were dumb.
They were dumb. They were really, really dumb. Like, this should have been, like, a really awesome anti-transformer.
I really thought whenever I was watching the trailer that they were like going to be some sort of Decepticon idea that they had given to the humans to police things, but it was just bad human robots.
Yeah. Now, I forgot to write this down. Maybe I wrote it on the next page. No, it's on the facepalm page. But realistically, the second opening to this movie is back in Chicago. Again, for a third movie.
Because, we haven't gotten Chicago enough.
We didn't get Chicago enough. However, I think we both agreed that the stuff that happened in Chicago was pretty good.
Yeah.
But everything after that made no sense.
Yeah.
It was bad. The walkers were bad. It was just terrible. But that's where one of the first times we find out that, spoilers, quote unquote, Bumblebee still doesn't have his damn voice.
Stupid.
5 movies, and we saw at the end of the first movie he had his voice back.
Stupid.
And then it went back to the communicating through the radio.
Really stupid.
Now, it ties into a couple things throughout the movie, and then they go towards... They sort of reference it several times throughout the movie. Mm-hmm. However, it was still retarded. He still doesn't have a voice. Stupid. Just like the next character that they brought back. Wheelie.
My thing is, I don't hate on Wheelie because he was awesome on the first 2 movies.
Yeah.
But
second movie, he wasn't in the first one.
Second and third movie, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's Wheelie, he was cheeky, he was fun to be there. But this movie, he had absolutely 0% purpose.
No purpose. He literally was just there as comedic foil, along with the random black guy that he was usually teamed up with.
Yeah,
they served no purpose.
Pretty much.
His
you know what's sad?
Vice president of whatever Cade lied to him that he was going to be doing.
Yeah. And you know what's sad is Wheelie's awesome, but it's probably like Hasbro / Michael Bay putting in one more character in so they can squeeze out another toy.
I think what they were just doing is trying to make as many references to the previous movies as possible. Like, do we even know that Wheelie survived past the third movie?
No, because we never.
Was he in the
Wheelie.
fourth?
I can't remember.
No, he wasn't, because everything followed Cade in the fourth movie. There's no way they... Yeah, because we never got Wheelie after that.
I never saw Wheelie in the fourth movie because it was all about the...
If he was, I don't recall
and the new guys that they have.
Yeah, if he was, I don't recall, honestly. Though I do wish that Bumblebee still had his badass classic Camaro body, because I love that, the flat black with orange. Speaking of all previous characters and things we've seen, every character that was brought back from old movies... Actually, pretty much all the characters brought back were kind of sucked.
Yeah, there was just...
I mean,
it's sad because they're on their old movies, they were awesome.
Yeah.
They were fantastic to see, and they had a lot of purpose in the old movies. And then here they were just kind of thrown in to have more characters for more callbacks.
They really were just, they were just callbacks. They served no purpose. Well, okay, they served a purpose, but they That's all there was.
There could have been another way.
There could have been a better way, and just all the previous characters that were brought in, including human characters that were brought back. Some of them were just badly done. Like, they could have been potential. I mean, some of them were even just exposition dumps, which this movie was really bad about exposition dumps. Like, here's everything you need to know in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, this movie definitely shoved a lot down your throat.
It did.
Quick. I mean, I felt like I knew the characters that they were trying to...
You know what? This totally fits in. I don't know why we don't have it out there.
But the thing is...
Yeah, let's put all the knights in here, because knights were...
Anything that looks like a knight and it has a sword.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, let's focus specifically on that. There we go.
But yeah, any of the characters that they threw in, it was just kind of like, all right, we're going to do all this and we're going to shove it back down your throat.
Yeah.
Which, once again, like I said earlier, it's just a bunch of wads. They're just like...
If a character wasn't pointless when it was brought back, it was underutilized entirely.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime, very underutilized, and his story was stupid.
Yeah.
I even wrote it down somewhere in here. Maybe it was in a facepalm, but I don't know. Okay, it was actually in the...
Facepalms.
No, actually, that's in the bad. Sorry, I've got a list here, guys. But yeah, Optimus Prime,
Dumb.
his story was dumb.
Dumb.
It was dumb. It was a good idea, but something that should have been executed
See, my thing
a movie
is they made
ago.
it sound... Well, not... They made it seem so much more epic at the ending of the fourth movie.
Yeah.
And it just didn't pan out to
The ending of the fourth movie didn't pan out to anything important in this one. It was so bad. Like, they're just like, okay, we're going to set everything up the way it did. Like, I didn't understand... Like, you guys know from the trailers that basically they're hunting and they're against all Transformers at this point. It's illegal to be Transformer on Earth. So I'm guessing it was a racism... It's probably a Muslim message, not to go there, but it seemed like the whole point. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a good one or a bad one.
They're all bad.
They're all bad. So, I mean, maybe that's what he was on about, because it was stupid considering that's not where they left off. Like, I didn't see the world government doing that at the end of the last movie. It didn't make any sense. Speaking of the world government, it kind of came together. We got some of the organizations that now work together hunting Transformers. They gave us one of the dumbest things we've seen. The TIE Fighter drones.
Those were stupid.
Stupid. I mean, honestly, the tech was cool.
The tech was cool.
The scene that they were in was really retarded.
Like, this was literally probably, I want to say, like a 5 to 10 minute scene.
It was about 10 minutes.
That you could cut out, and you could...
yeah.
You could cut that out and still be okay.
Yeah.
To watch the movie.
Very, very much. Just like a lot of other things that really annoyed me in this movie.
That's 10 minutes that could have gone to Optimus Prime.
Another thing that we could have done without was a period piece, so you guys at least see the World War II aspect. You guys will see why it's absolutely pointless.
It's like a 30-second thing, and there's no reason.
I think 2 minutes of it entirely were all about the war. Anything that happened in World War II or World War I,
want to say there's
remember.
At least a half hour worth of random stuff, minimum. That could have gone to whole other parts of the movie.
To make some of the other parts of the movie make more sense. Speaking of, I didn't even think about this. The whole scene with the drones took place in a city that kept changing sizes.
Yeah.
It didn't know if it wanted to be a small town in the middle of nowhere or a big city. Because you literally cut from like a small town with only one-story buildings to a giant multi-story metroplex, and then back to a small town in less than 10 minutes.
It was like switching stages in Overwatch. It was horrible.
There you go. There you go. Honestly, very much so. It was ridiculous.
Like,
it's so bad.
Like you're in this tiny town, so it seems like it's like this tiny Hollywood like cutscene town.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're in just this giant, huge like city, and you're just like.
But only for one small scene, and then it changes right
back.
Like
it felt like Michael Bay was like, all right, we need 5 towns for one scene. How much money in the budget do we got?
It's like all they needed was a reason for that to happen to Cade.
Yeah.
And then so they said, okay, we need a building to make that happen. Well, there's no building like this in
like
this
they
city.
literally etched out 10 minutes in that little town.
Yeah.
Just so Cade's part of the story made sense.
Which it didn't. What happened made no sense.
And it was still stupid.
Because we got what was probably one of the beginnings of random robot ex machina.
Yeah.
Mind you, it made sense, but it made no sense. Because it's like, okay, why is he even here? Okay, we get minor exposition. Oh, main character has to go away now.
It's dumb.
Leaving behind something else. So, yeah, that whole part made no sense.
It's dumb.
What also didn't make sense, no explanation until after it was happening, was the random car switching in London. It made...
See, and that's the hard part for you and me, where it's like, it's dumb, but we got to see so many cool cars.
Yeah, the cool cars was awesome. The Aston Martin that was not a Transformer for some reason. Why wouldn't we have a cool James Bond sounding Aston Martin Transformer?
Right.
Don't know why. But we got that really cool.
But once again, it's just like all this random car switching for a random car chase.
To essentially end up in a car chase that was actually in a cool car, but pointless-ish double car chase. Because two different directional car chases.
It was dumb.
But
once again, that's like another 10 minutes carved out. That could have gone to
10 minutes of that scene where they could have just snuck away and not had a problem, but no.
Damn you, Michael Bay.
Damn you, Michael Bay. This whole thing is damn you, Michael Bay. I already mentioned the scientist dude that you hated earlier.
God.
There was also, later in the movie, another combiner that was pointless.
See, and at that point with that combiner, it just felt like they were trying to be like,
we have a combiner too.
We've shoved all these other robots in this combiner, so let's shove one more in.
It was almost more Deus Ex Machina because just, oh hey, here's another robot you haven't seen, but it's here for some reason. Okay, they very minorly showed that one off in one early scene, but you totally forgot about it by the time that it came back up. That's one thing that happened in this movie a lot was it jumped around a scene that you didn't see for 25, 30 minutes.
I think I could have done without him being a combiner, and I was just like, that's a cool robot.
Yeah, it could have just been one big giant robot for no reason.
Because that's Transformers.
Because it's Transformers. The last thing that, oh, actually, not the last thing, but one thing, there's a scene near the end, the big set piece. It's so much bullshit. I'm not going to say what it was, but you will see it when it happens. Because they're literally like, okay, physics, no, we don't care.
And then it goes back to them saving the world anyway. Or are you talking about before that?
Right before that. Well, no, the part where it ended up them... The thing where they're...
that was dumb.
That's what I'm talking about.
That was dumb.
Yeah, that whole thing was stupid. Didn't even need to be. They just, oh, hey, this is going to keep happening.
You could have rewritten that like 30 other ways, and I would have been happier.
Yeah, that could have gone... Well, it's better than just blowing things up like they usually do.
I would have gone with that.
Just blow it up again.
Blow it up again.
And then, realistically, one of the worst things, period, about this movie was the ending.
Oh, God.
The ending was so bad and just quick. It was literally like...
You can ask Shoky. First thing, as soon as the movie ended... I just looked at him and I'm like, I'm pissed.
Yeah, you literally looked at me and went pissed. And I, like, if you looked over me, I just went, ugh. Like, what just happened?
I was like, I'm so pissed right now. Like, I was like, damn it. Because the way it ended, you're like, all right, there's going to be 6.
Not only is the way it ends, like, just the actual thing that it ends on is so, makes you so angry. It literally wrapped up and just went, boom, done. Like, there could have been anything after that.
There wasn't even like a pan out from the scene. There wasn't any, like...
There was a minor pan out. Minor. There was a wave that was like, what the hell? Why is he even waving? And then, nothing was really resolved or wrapped up. It just like, this is the end, bye. And then it'd go, oh, minor scene before the credits. And then you go, ah! Because of that scene.
I was pissed.
Very much pissing. And then that leads us straight into all the facepalm moments. From the beginning. Straight up facepalm. Hold on, for you guys. There you go.
Sound effect.
Yeah, I can't slap the phone. So, right at the beginning, the Merlin character, massive waste of Stanley Tucci. I mean, you'll see it. It's very facepalmy.
Because Stanley Tucci got money.
He's got money. However, like, if he could have been like a cool character, like he was kind of cool there for a minute, and then he went the other way and went very...
Like, he's not really a recycled character, but he's a recycled actor. So once again...
Is a recycled actor sort of playing what he did before in a way. It didn't make sense. However, wasted. It was a waste of Stanley Tucci, and the scene itself was... While the scene itself was cool, the character was facepalmy. Merlin himself was a facepalm. Thank you. I already said Chicago all over again. We went there. At least we didn't go back to somewhere, Texas, which is supposed to be Paris, Texas. Bringing up the fact that a certain Decepticon is still alive since the first movie somehow. Barricade, and we've seen it through the toys. We talked about him. Why is he alive still when he was killed, presumably either in the first or second movie?
Oh, no, yeah. Once again, like, rewriting continuity.
Why the hell is he alive still, and why is he... And now he's Megatron's second in command because...
Everybody else did.
Because everybody else did, although they did give you a callback to the previous second in command, and I appreciated that to a degree.
Yes.
Twice, actually, they called back to him. I already talked about the Bud Light product placement. Massive facepalm, ruining... Scene ruining things. All the way through this movie, even to the point that they tried to make it funny... in the scene ruination.
It was just dumb.
Like, okay, it was even in the character himself is referencing what he's doing is trying to make the scene more epic, while somebody else is going, no, you're just ruining it. It's like Michael Bay was literally going meta on himself in its own scene.
Stretching stuff. It was just stretching stuff the whole time.
The whole time. I already talked about the flat-out repaint.
Oh,
The flat-out repaint. I'm not saying the character, but they'll see it.
Yeah.
The flat-out repaint of a previous character that had to have been a direct Hasbro thing. Dumb. Facepalming.
Hashtag repaint wars.
Yeah, hashtag repaint wars. Grimlock eating a damn cop car.
I was so angry because Grimlock in this movie was reduced down to nothing but a junkyard dog.
And we said that, yeah.
And Grimlock is probably one of my top 5 favorite Transformers of all time.
Me Grimlock, not junkyard dog. Me
Yeah.
Grimlock king. No, you're a junkyard dog. And you're going to dig a hole and you're going to go and lay in it until you learned your lesson.
Like, they just turned Grimlock into like this junkyard Rottweiler.
And here's what's so bad about it. They even, in the movie, once again, referencing their own bullshit, said, you're like a 6,000-year-old brutal badass of a thing, but you've been reduced to a junkyard dog. Literally says it in the movie.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Why, Michael Bay, do you hate
It
us?
sucks because, like, even, like, I was already pissed from Transformers 4 with the underuse of the Dinobots.
Yeah, everybody was
And then,
so
like,
mad.
once again, like, I'm not saying that I didn't want them there, but you could have just not had the Dinobots in here.
Yeah, they could
have been okay.
They could have been okay. No, okay, Slug is in this for all of 3 seconds.
Like a
You
whole
literally
3
see him walking in the background, and then he's gone, doesn't do anything.
But since he was in there 3 seconds, they could put out an
They
action
put out a new
figure.
toy.
Yeah.
Now, but the thing is, they put out toys for 3 of the Dinobots, and we didn't even see them. But the thing is at least in the final battle, the Dinobots would have been incredibly useful. And considering they had a spaceship to haul everyone off with, and they didn't bring the fucking dinosaurs with them.
Dumb.
Because they could have been all like, hey, we know you.
Dumb.
But I think the reason they did that was the continuity errors. They went, oh yeah, this would totally screw up our previous continuity.
Dumb.
We should not do that. I swear to God, Michael Bay writes the scenes per day.
Oh, no.
I swear. I've said this before when I've talked about these things. I swear he goes in there, they film a scene, he goes and writes the next scene for the next day, then they start shooting it, and then completely forget what they shot the day before.
Dumb.
So in between movies, he also throws away every copy of the previous movie. He has no idea.
Yeah.
One giant sin that you and I both agreed upon. Hot Rod is French.
I didn't understand that. Like, we're talking, like, one of the most iconic, most epic Transformers in the whole universe.
The second leader of the Autobots.
The second leader of the Autobots, and you reduced him down to, like, this comedic French car.
Okay, so spoilers, he wasn't always... Wow, that was going to get real bad real soon. Always got to knock things over. He wasn't always a badass Lamborghini. He literally copies the scene from Transformers 1 where he goes from being a crappy old car to scanning a new car, and then he changes in the middle of traffic from a Citroen 2CV, I think it was, or no, it was a Citroen, to this Lamborghini Centenario.
Yeah.
And he's speaking French, or at least with a French accent, and then they literally pause the movie for a minute right after that to say, well, why does he speak with a French accent? Is he French? He goes, no, he just talks that way.
Just talks that way because he went through some war.
And realistically, what they made him entirely in this movie was a European Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Everything about him was Bumblebee.
And see, like we said,
Even
he's
down to the
supposed
voice
be
box.
The second leader of the Autobots, one of the most iconic, well-known Transformers ever. But you get a French dip.
Yeah, no pun intended. And he was badass. However,
He was
after
flipping awesome.
after the scenes in Europe, useless.
Yeah. But other than that, he was flipping awesome.
I was partially hoping that maybe the thing would happen and he would suddenly become a leader. Nope. They're making Bumblebee. But the thing is, you know why they did the things they did? Because they want a period piece Bumblebee movie.
Oh, yeah.
And they set their way to do that, and it makes me mad. Another thing that is definitely any and all Michael Bay tropes. The military porn, the sunset flashes, explosions, although not really knocking the explosions a lot.
Bayformers.
Though I think
tropes.
certain things exploded that probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Like, why is that exploding? That doesn't work
You guys
that
will
way.
literally watch the movie and be like, that shouldn't explode.
Yeah. Another thing that really annoys me in movies kind of like this, that shouldn't annoy me as much as it did, the power of friendship that saves all.
Friendship is magic!
Friendship is magic, guys. Friendship changes everything. You'll see what I was talking about. It's so annoying. Prime's speech and message at the end. Very cringe and facepalmy.
And like the thing is, like we understand he's Prime, and Prime always has a speech, you know.
Yeah.
Team uniting speech.
Something.
But I could have done without it.
And I love the fact that he once again makes a speech and then flies off.
Yep.
Even Wally would have been like, "Why? Where are you going?"
Yeah, like you flew off in the last movie and ended up like a frozen popsicle in this one.
Yeah, what the hell? I'm gonna go find my creators by accident. Okay, and then we sort of already talked about it, but probably the most face-palmy thing in this movie was Izzy and Squeaks.
I hate them.
With the exception of like Squeaks having an epic moment once.
Squeaks was more useful than Izzy.
Well, yeah, realistically, because Izzy made herself out to be useful, but the movie said, no, you're not going to be that useful. Like, she was
They're
cool.
like, we've already paid this girl, so let's just give her some scenes.
But I heard somebody else talk about this. They made her out to be like this awesome, like, new lead for the movie. And realistically, she was dumbed down to not even a two-dimensional secondary character.
She was just a mischievous orphan.
And there were so many scenes where they literally did that cartoon thing where they're just, you stay here, and then poop. How did you get here?
I hated that.
I hated it. I was so mad.
It was so dumb.
The last time it happened, I literally was about to throw my phone.
Dude,
like, no, not
yeah,
again.
I was right there with you. I
was so mad.
That was another one of those friendship is magic things.
And I knew why they were doing it because I'd seen the toy. I knew what Squeaks was hiding because I'd seen the toy.
Right.
And so I was like, God, why? Why? But like, should have been a good character. Should have been two good characters, and ruined because Michael Bay.
It's so dumb.
And then the inclusion of another lead for no reason that was Ex Machina and a MacGuffin at the same time. So you're an Ex MacGuffin.
Right.
It's just okay. So all right. So that's it. Basically, you guys got our consensus. You know what we're looking at. Okay. So Nick, let's give it out. Let's give judge the movie on squishies. We're gonna go out of 5 squishies. What do you give it?
I gave it a 2.5 because there were some things on there that.
How are you gonna have half a squishy?
Huh?
How are you gonna have half a squishy? He can't be cut in half.
2017, man. Everything's possible.
I'm just gonna
Protect your squishy.
My squishy.
I gave it a 2.5. There had a lot of parts where I was entertained. I laughed, but other than that, I was just like the rest of it was stupid.
You laughed more than I did.
Yeah, I mean you heard me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
I looked over at you and went, why are you laughing at this? No, there were some definitely comedic scenes.
It had my style of humor in there, so it did more for me than it did for Shoky.
They kept reaching on some of the humor and it missed. They kept reaching on some of the action scenes and they missed.
Yeah.
They kept reaching on the story and they missed.
Yeah.
It's all like just out here. Michael Bay is a man's grasp or reach should exceed his grasp, but Michael Bay doesn't seem to have depth perception.
No, you don't have a lot of depth perception with Michael Bay.
If you look in the camera here, the light is perfectly catching the jewel on Versailles.
Oh yeah, I see him.
I love that. It looks so cool.
But yeah, it was Michael Bay trope reaching.
I'm gonna give it literally 2 squishies. I'm gonna go less than you because this was worse, in some aspects worse than 4. But it had like good things that it sort of made up. The acting was definitely better. They wasted a plus list actor.
I feel like it would have gotten that 0.5 with you if they didn't have the damn Bud Light in there.
The Bud Light pissed me off that much. No, that 0.5 was like somewhere around
that Bud Light
the
was,
wasted Optimus Prime story and then wasted Grimlock. It's good lord.
Okay.
I'm just sorry. This movie is literally a big cluster waste.
Well, we're saying that Michael Bay has taken 3 of the most iconic Transformers in history.
Yeah.
And dumbed them down beyond belief.
Yep.
Hot Rod, Grimlock, Prime.
Yeah. 3 very important badass leaders. Now, Megatron got to be a badass for about 10 minutes.
Megatron, I actually, and that's the sad thing is I enjoyed Megatron more than I did.
Megatron actually got to be a badass.
Yeah, I enjoyed him more than Prime, Grimlock, and Hot Rod.
But the funny thing is, they all got about the same screen time.
Yeah.
Like, Optimus Prime is legitimately in this movie for maybe 15 to 20 minutes max. Megatron only has very short scenes. It's weird how they didn't have budgets for things.
Oh, no.
Well, that was like 6 minutes of wasted time, much like Okay,
Much like Michael Bay.
so back to the ending of this thing. Okay, so sorry guys, had a minor interruption there. So much like a Michael Bay movie, it just wouldn't end. This movie could have been about 45 minutes shorter and would have been better. And realistically, guys, Redbox it or download it for free. Don't spend your money like we did.
Nope.
It's okay. Or go see it on matinee for cheap as physically possible.
Yes.
You know?
Go on Monday or Tuesday for $5.
And I will say this outright. Kids, this is your movie. This is not for Transformers fans.
Yeah, I'll admit that. Like, if you're a family who enjoys the Transformers movie franchise, like the Bayformers, and your kids just enjoy it, and you guys enjoy it, and you're not looking for, like, the nitpicky stuff like we are, fantastic. Yeah. Go for it.
Son of Frankenstein will probably like this.
Yeah.
It's not for SHOKY.
Yeah. Not for SHOKY, and it's not.
Like there were good, like I said, good bits of this movie that should have been amplified, and the bad bits should have been excised, like cancer.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of cancer on this movie.
Oh.
As you said.
Yes.
But that's going to be it, guys, for this what turned out to be a much longer SHOKY movie review than I anticipated. But we were supposed to reduce that down to like 5s, but we didn't because there was just too much to talk about, just like this movie. So if you've seen it already, let me know in the comments down below what you thought about it. And if you haven't seen it already, have we changed your mind on going to see it, or do you really want to go see it and form your own opinion? Which, that's what I believe everybody should do. Form your own opinion. Although it seems that everyone's opinion seems to be the same on this movie. At least people who actually want to speak
Unless
out.
you're just like Bayformers purist and you're just like, yes, everything amazing.
Yeah, but I think a lot
Which
of us...
I think those are few and in between.
The sad part is that's why he makes $1 billion every one of them.
Yeah.
So, I want to go ahead and thank my Patreons. So, Andy Tubbs and SteelAngelJohn, thank you for your patronage.
Thank you
and
for
I will
patronage.
have some videos up for you guys very, very soon on the Patreon.
Patronage.
Yes, so if you guys haven't seen it yet, go over to my Patreon page, which will flash across the screen right now. And if you want to donate, by all means, it will help to pay for things in the future so the SHOKY reviews can keep going, So, and of course, I want to thank my buddy Nick for, as always, being a good sidekick.
Yes, sir.
And coming in to form this opinion. You're a big Transformers fan, so I knew you would have an opinion one way or the other on this.
I have to go cuddle my masterpiece Optimus Prime now to
go hug your MP10.
My MP10 to wash off the Bayformers.
Get rid of it.
It's gonna be like a bar of soap. Get the Bayformers off of me.
Yep. And you know what? We didn't even talk realistically about the main. I don't want to say main plot. The seemingly main plot of this movie that kept doing little squiggles, like, okay, yeah, this is the reason we're doing everything, sort of, but then gets totally sidetracked, sort of.
Just wads of stuff.
Wads of stuff. That's a Michael Bay thing. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this incredibly long review. That's okay. And, the last SHOKY Nerdcast is almost done being edited.
Yay!
So that will be out hopefully by the end of Saturday, maybe Sunday morning. So I'll catch you guys later. And remember, as always, keep on nerding. Unlike Michael Bay, who doesn't seem to know how to nerd properly.
Go watch IMDb something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The biggest facepalm of everything. Michael Bay still hasn't seen original Transformers. That's the note we're ending on.
Turn it off!
Turning it off.
Turn it off!